Hey, what's going on, guys? What up, party people? How's it going? Can you hear me? Is the music too loud? Let me know. Ubuntu came out today. Let's see if my fancy update script updates it and ruins the entire stream. That's the wrong password. There we go. Please let me know if the music is too loud, because it's like a bit of a house techno thingy. How are you guys doing? Are you excited about this whole playlist thing? Raise your hand if you're alive. I need to figure out a way how to see how many of you guys are actually watching, because I don't want to like jump like this all the time. It says that it's unlisted. Why is it still unlisted? Did I not save the changes? I thought I did. I did not save the changes. It's public. Save. All right. Should be working now. All right. This was too fast. I don't think that it updated anything. Yeah, it didn't. All right. So let's go to our PFP. Yeah, let's open it. All right, nice. I actually don't really like the music. Hold up. Please don't forget to hit the like button so that this stream gets recommended to other people. I really like this Christmas tune. Like, I know it's not Christmas, but like every time I listen to it, it's like so chill. All right. So for those of you who haven't been around the last couple of days or even yesterday, we're rewriting the Gabriel Volpe's shopping cart application to the Diamond architecture in order to see if it actually compiles faster. It should, because it's gonna compile things in parallel, but we'll see. And so what we did so far is we changed the build a little bit. So we created so everything wasn't like in modules, especially like in modules like shop over here, right? And so we created a subproject called core, and we created a subproject called persistence DB Postgres skunk. In fact, I realized that last time we started with the users use case, and then yesterday we realized that authentication is actually the only thing that uses users, and users pretty much doesn't do anything. It just goes to the database. So it's sort of more like a repository instead of like an actual like algebra that does things. And so I went to core, and we removed the entire users algebra, and I'm realizing just now that we actually didn't go to over here, to the storage implementation, and we didn't say that that this thing doesn't exist anymore. I kind of don't want to throw it out right now, because we're actually going to like copy paste a bunch of this stuff from in the one that we're going to create today. So we're going to leave it as it is right now. Like, one of the benefits of having like so many boxes is that, you know, we can like at any point we can just go to like SBT and we can like stay in core, for example, and then the core compiles, and then, you know, as long as the core compiles, we're happy. All right. So if we do something like, come on, load. All right. So if we do something like tilde core compile, come on, compile. Okay. As long as it compiles our 12 classes. And by the way, we're using like this is one thing that actually worries me, is that I remember how I said that we should have like as last of a dependencies like as possible inside of core, but there are obviously exceptions like util libraries, and we actually do use quite a bit of that. Look, it took like 13 seconds to compile like 12 Scala sources, which means it took like, you know, 1 second to compile just like one file, and it's because we're using a bunch of these guys over here, right? So I'm not sure how Derivo is implemented. I'm not sure how new type is implemented, but for sure there's, you know, macros. It even says macros, right? And so macros is slow, and so we have a kind of like a problem that we have something that is slow inside of the core, and this is like a no-no, you know, because like core is a choke point. It slows everything down. So we might like finish this entire rewrite, and then in the end we're gonna see that it didn't do anything. Maybe it shaved off like 5 seconds, and it's because we have like so much, you know, code generation in the core. Okay. And by the way, they should all be final. I'm realizing just now. All right, like this. In any case, so what we're doing today is we're going to work a lot in the build file today, because we have this boundary, which is the boundary to the core of our application, specifically to only one use case for today, which is like this users auth, right? And so we should be able to create a new user, we should be able to log in, and we should be able to log out. And it uses a gate, which is just a facade. And if we go to the gate, we're going to see that a gate is actually a bunch of these traits. So we have the opportunity to go to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes, right? So these 5 and the delivery of our application, which is HTTP. And so this is what we're going to do. First, we're going to start with HTTP, because even though we don't have implementations for any of these, you know, we're programming against interfaces, right? So we can go and use the boundary. We don't need to be able to create a boundary in order to use it. All right. So this is the old one. Where's the new one? Well, actually, I can just do like auth boundary, and we're there. Okay. Why did it jump here? Auth boundary. Did I not rename it? Interesting. I didn't rename it. Okay. So the file is called boundary, but this one is not called boundary. Okay. Let's see how good metals is. Yes, that's good. Okay. And so this one is going to be boundary impl. Okay, because we already have a package auth. And by the way, the reason why I prefer to create to use this name in a package instead of in a class is that if I want to have like more things that relate to this thing, I have a place to put it. I don't need to like hide it in the companion object or anything like this. And we do have a lot of things that this thing needs, right? Like all of these things are part of auth, and so I don't want to be bound by the name of this thing. Okay. Anyhow, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the routes, and in order to do that, we need to see where this interface is used, and it looks like it's used like all over the place inside of security, which is okay. This is just a case class, not even a case class. Why is it? Whoa, that's interesting. I haven't seen this pattern, which means the implementation is like somewhere in the same thing, right? So we cannot create it. We can only create it here. Where do we do some like security like this? No. Security. Where do we use security? Security make. Okay, where's make? Okay, so there's a companion object somewhere. Okay, here. Security make, you give it a couple of things, creates a couple of vals, and it creates new security. What's the point of this thing? Do you guys know this pattern? Like, I've never seen this. Like, what is I mean, it's just a factory, right? So it's like a smart constructor, but why? Well, to do a couple of things. Anyway, like this is too strict, right? Like this could have been like a regular case class, right? Regular case class maybe was a private constructor. If you do it like this, you don't have like the copy method generated. But still, anyhow, let's not get distracted. Yeah. So this is like no offense, but this is just like somebody trying to be like too pedantic, I guess, or too smart, or maybe it's just something that I don't know, like whatever. In any case, it's just a bunch of vowels. So we don't care about this thing. What we care about is we want to go back. Because we wanted to see where the straight is used. Okay, so one is basically where we just like assemble them. Okay, so here user routes. Okay, so the user routes uses auth. Let's see how. So it does like new user. Okay, so we could, for example, start with this one because I think it's going to be like a little bit simpler because it doesn't need like admin and stuff. And probably we're not going to go today and implement like all the routes. We're just going to implement like this one, like this one, because I'd rather concentrate on creating like more boxes than than like finishing this whole thing. Like this is another thing. Like I wanted like to finish this whole thing in 1 week, and I don't think we'll be able to. So as long as we are able to convert like one use case, like I will already be like a little bit happy, and then let's see. Because the thing is that like this weekend I somehow need to produce a video about this. Like I wanted to make a video and say like, hey, look, we rewrote it, and it's faster or not, basically about this. In any case, let's try to do something like this. Okay, so this is user routes. Not sure why it's a case class. Why is it a case class? Like this is not a data structure. Well, I mean, everything's a data structure in functional programming. Let's see where it's used. Okay, so we instantiate it and we get out the routes. Okay, so anyhow, like what I usually do is yeah, so what I usually do, in my opinion as well, so what I usually do is I have a trait. Oh, I think I know why it is a case class. Hold up. No, I don't. Anyhow, so what I usually do is I call like all of my routes, I call them controllers. And so I create a trait controller, and it just has like this one method, routes, right? And it looks like we're not going to be able to do this because like so far, like whenever I played with HTTPS, it did not have like any middleware. So there's like some middleware probably for auth stuff. Users middleware, just a middleware for something like was a token and stuff. So oh, interesting. Find user. Okay. Let me just go there real quick. Okay, what is that? Is that our thing? That's not our thing. Authenticate. Yeah, like see, like this is like one of those problems, like if you don't have a trait, right? So if we had a trait for this thing, then we would just say that it extends, that it extends like authentication middleware, right? So if we had like I cannot, it's not our thing. It's still not our thing. Okay, hold up. Then it doesn't matter what I just said. Okay, so is this just a string? Show me God of Metals compilers. JWT string value is what? Okay, it's that thing which is just a string, and it's that thing which is an ADT in PDI. What? This is one of the things that I don't like in Metals. Like recently they changed it. Like it used to be that if you jump into some library, it just adds this file into some like read-only directory. Okay, it would be like somewhere over here in .metals, and then you would see the breadcrumbs. Right. So right now, like I'm seeing this package, but I don't know which library this is. And I know that there's like a, what is it, like a metals inspector thingy. Right, like it's not really helpful. I know that there's also where did I put it? Outline. Yeah, so this is also not helpful. Anyway. All right, so it's a bunch of string at the end of the day. Big surprise. Like everything else in programming, it's a bunch of strings. So again, let's go back to our boundary, right? So auth boundary. No, this is not what we went to. We went to this one. Okay, so where is it used? User routes, like this is where we were. We wanted to do this. There's also like login routes and logout routes. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, so I wanna have a look at everything that does val routes, because I believe like this is where middleware comes in usually. Right, just routes. Okay, it's all just routes. Okay, not all. Interesting. Okay, but this is like some big thing. So if it's all like this, then this thing in security, oh, not this one, where was it? No, it wasn't security, right? Where was that thing that like sort of like assembles everything together? Was it user routes? Yeah, so we were here and then we were like, hey, why is it a case class? And then we went here and then it was like routes. So for the logout routes, for some reason we need a middleware. So I want to see this. Okay, so this one is def routes. Okay, so let me have a look at def routes. Okay, so there's a bunch of routes and they all want like some sort of middleware, and it still returns HTTP routes. Interesting. So we have a prefix path, which is auth. It's fine. And then we go authentication middleware and we give it HTTP routes. So we already have, wait, what? Auth routes. Hold up. Where's that thing? This is HTTP4S probably. Yeah, HTTP4S package object. Okay, so this is an HTTP4S concept. Okay, so you just like wrap them like this. Like I don't remember how authentication works in HTTP4S, and it's been a while since I read the book. Hey man, how are you doing? So you have authentication headers, which is also not ours. You go like get bearer token. Like I'm really trying to avoid like rewriting too much. Like if I would write this, like even though, you know, this whole authentication and blah 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 is a web concept, like I would try to like not have a dependency on other libraries over here in HTTP. Right, because what does it do? Okay, so it does like get bearer token and then it calls into the core. And that's it. Like maybe the core crashes, maybe not. But like request is what? Well, it's a request, okay. So it gives us back what? Well, it gives us a JWT token. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, like this is like a typical thing that like a lot of web frameworks, you know, I mean, HTTP4S is not a framework, it's a library, but still, you know, it's like a batteries included library. Like they want to do like this whole JWT thing for you. They want to do like this whole auth thing for you. Now this authentication headers is not part of HTTP4S, right? It's part of the profunctor auth. So it's like a separate library. But it is written for HTTP4S, right? So this auth library depends on HTTP4S. So it's basically HTTP4S, right? So it's just for HTTP4S, and therefore it's fine to do this stuff here. But I'm curious how it does it. Right, okay, see, like it's not a big deal, you know, request just like gets the headers and it does get authorization, which is credentials renderable. Great. Okay, so it's just like an ADT, so it's either token or auth params. Collect, authorization, token, bearer, yeah. Yeah, so basically if it's a token, then you get it, and if not, then you don't get it. Fine, let's not get too distracted about this. So basically, this is pretty much like the only thing we will always do, right? So the only thing our middleware always will do is it will just like grab the token from the request and just stick it in there. I'm just thinking about like I really want to have a trait that abstracts over something that has routes. And so like I would want the authentication middleware to come in over here. Like to me that makes like way more sense. Let's go see where it comes from. Okay. So when we call routes, we go like this. All right. So it goes to security, it gets like this thing and find user. Like this is so confusing to me. So how does this thing work? Okay, it needs a function that can authenticate a user. Interesting. Still don't get it though. So this is a function that you give it a JWT token and it gives you a function back that takes a JWT claim and gives you an f of option of A, which is our option of a user. Is that what our find users? Oh, okay, so find user is not the same thing. Oh, I thought it was that thing that we were doing. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, it's not our thing. Okay, that got me scared. Okay, so we cannot do that one. That's fine. So we'll probably we'll jump over that bridge when we get to it, because right now we don't need it. Right. Well, we need it for the logout route, so let's not do logout routes for now. Yeah, let's not do logout routes for now. So we have login or new user. Like, I think we should start with new user. Okay, so if we go to new user, we're gonna see that, yeah, it's used. Yeah, this is perfect, like, right? So this is like a simple route. There's no middleware, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so it has this like create users thing, which is the username param and password param. Okay, so these are new things. Right, yeah, user registration, and like this is one of those things, like, right, so over here they're in the same package. For us, they're not going to be in the same package, and this is where we're going to run into an issue. We're going to run into an issue that we don't have top level definitions, and we would need to take these two, and we would need to put them into the same place where like all of these others are, because we are in the package package auth. Okay, anyway, like I'm just doing like a lot of researching before I go to the build, because like if I start messing with the build, then I'm like, oh, I forgot Cersei, you know, oh, I forgot this, you know. So I'm just trying to figure out like everything that we need before I go and mess with the build. Okay, so maybe I can just look at the imports. Okay, so the domain stuff is fine. HTTP4S refined. Oh, everything HTTP4S is fine. Auth is going to be our boundary, which makes sense. By the way, this is a nice way to go through this thing because it doesn't require a sync. Okay. Okay, so it just goes like create user, which is something we don't have yet. It goes new user, which is something that we do have. And it has like these two domain functions, which is just like a, whoa. What is going on with my metals? Oh, we cannot be here because that thing doesn't compile. Okay, so for now, let's just do like a very professional move and go back here, cascade compile. All right, so show me to domain. Come on. Okay, username param, to domain. Okay, so this is just like a, oh, to lowercase. Fine, we're gonna do it the same way. That's fine. Create it. Let's see what's that. Okay, that's the response code, right? Okay, username in use. So this is something we already have. By the way, I'm sure you noticed, but today's stream is going to be like more chilled. I'm super tired. Yeah, this is something that we already have. Conflict is probably something that HTTP for us. Yes. And then we have like user.show, and user is username. And username is something that we probably also have. Probably in the package. Username, and we have show. Okay, so it's gonna work. All right, so let's go and try to do this route. Okay, so let's go to the build and let's see. Yeah, so we did not end up needing Cersei in the database. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna go and paste it over here. Oops, what the hell did I just do? Paste it over here. Did I do it twice? No. Okay. So we have the core, we have the persistence, and so now we're going to say that we're going to deliver our application. It's going to be delivery. We're delivering it via HTTP, and the library that we're going to use is HTTP for us, right? So same thing over here, and this is going to be also on the level 02, but this is going to be input, delivery HTTP for us. Okay, so actually don't remember if we need to like drag these ones every time with us. Let's leave them. Okay, let's remove this. And let's go like this. And yeah, so this is our big ball of mud. So we're just gonna go grab everything like this. And we're going to come back and we're going to paste it. Okay, so we don't need cats because we already have it in core. We will need cats fact. I don't know if we will need retry. Maybe to do check if we need this. Like I'd much rather like leave it in here. So obviously we'll need everything in Cersei. We're not gonna load any config. These two we already have from the top, from the core. We only need the Cersei part. I don't remember if we need FS2. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. To do check if we need this. Okay, we clearly need like all HTTP4S. Oh, okay, so look, there's HTTP4S JWT auth. Okay, so this is probably the one that has like the, you know, the profunctor package. I don't know if we'll need crypto, right? Because like ideally, like this is something that would be handled somewhere else, like in the core. Like again, like ideally, like this delivery layer should not do much, right? It should do like super like basic validation, like, hey, I wanted an integer and you gave me a string, you know, probably like was refined types and whatever, but that's it. Then it gives it to core, and the core should do like the rest of the validation. It should do like all of this crypto stuff and whatever. Okay. So log for cats, very likely. So same thing, log back for sure not. Like log back is probably injected only in main, probably not. We already have that, we already have that. Really, there's Redis for cats, log for cats? Really? Interesting. Anyway, we probably don't need Redis. Because like Redis should go through the core. Like why should your web layer know about which caching solution you're using? Like what if you switch to like etcd or something like this? Is it etcd or etsy? Whatever it's called, you know, this other one. Or I don't know, like Zookeeper or whatever, like all of this stuff, right? In any case, we probably don't need it. Refined, we for sure have that at the top. Skunk for sure not. Squants, we have it at the top. Okay, so I think it's fine. It's fine like this. No, not now. Like every time you do something like this, we need to check if SPT is happy. SPT is like chilling here, not doing anything. Hold up. Projects. Okay, so compile. All right, everything compiles, everybody's happy. Okay, so now we can go and import the build. But we should already have, you know, at the very top, we have core, and now we have this guy. Okay. VS Code pop-ups never like me, so I was about to like create a new file, but right now I'm not going to. So we have the user routes, so let's pin that one. What is this one? This is our boundary. We don't need to pin it. I remember how to jump in there. Close others. All right. So let's go over here and go like this. So first of all, we're going to create like this controller, like this notion of mine that I always do, you know. So we're going to do like source main, Scala, and we're going to go like dev inside you. Like this is going to be enough for now for us. And we're just going to go like controller. and it's going to be just a trade, okay, like this, and it will just have routes. That's all. Okay, and routes is just what was it? It's like a list of, I don't know, HTTP routes like this. I don't remember. Hold up. Is it like that? Is it like a F or some stuff like this? I don't remember if it's like this. I'm just like doing from memory. Let's go and see. So again, like this thing. Oh yeah, we have it. We have it over here. Okay. So routes is, yeah, HTTP routes of F. Okay. So this is our routes. So this is a controller. And so now we're gonna go inside of here and recreate this entire thing. And this is going to be the controller for this thing. Okay. So we're just gonna go like new file, Shopee users auth, and controller.scala. All right, so we're gonna go like this, and this is going to be a trade controller for some F. Well, actually, we don't need the controller over here, right? We can just go like object controller, right? And we're gonna say def make, right? So this is like where we're creating a route, right? So def make, for some F, okay, and somehow magically it's going to create a controller for F, okay? So it's going to be a new controller for F, like this, and let's see if Metals can. That's found type controller, because I forgot this one. There we go. All right, so. And it should not require any params, so it's going to be a lazy val. Okay. Yeah. So this is pretty much our routes. So let's go steal them. So like this prefix is used only once, so I'm not sure why. Anyway, let's just go grab it. Right. So we already have routes. Okay. Hold on. I cannot. Hold up. Okay, let me just, okay. All right, so I'm just gonna paste it like this, and I'm gonna comment it out, like, because like I don't know like why we need like all of that stuff. Why did I paste it here? This is not where I wanted to paste it into. I wanted to paste it like over here. No, come on. Yank inside this guy, paste it over. Why me? Here, like this, paste it here. All right, so we're just gonna comment it out for now. Okay. So a router is HTTP routes. Okay. And so over here we can just go like this. We can say, okay, well, let's create a router. This is just a personal stylistic preference, by the way. And so now we need the prefix path, which is just auth. And it's a tuple, right? So we go like this. And now we actually need to produce the routes. Okay, and in order to produce the routes, we need something that I did not copy paste, which is this DSL. Okay, so we're gonna yank it till the end, and we're going to go over here with paste. Okay, so, and this is like the thing, like this is the benefit of having this trait, because we're not exposing like this unnecessary fact that our controller actually extends something. Right, because all we are returning is this thing, right? This controller. We're not returning a controller with HTTP4S DSL. This is just an implementation detail, right? But now that we have it, we should import. And for that, we should save the file. But we'll import it later. Okay. So now that we have the DSL, so now we can go over here and we can say, well, HTTP routes of. I don't even believe that we need the F, but I'll specify it for now. Okay, and this is just a pattern match. Okay, and so we can steal the pattern match like this. Okay, and what I like to do in these cases is I just like to call the method. Okay, so I'm just gonna call it, users, and it needs the request, and that's it. Come on. Okay, right, so like as soon as this thing compiles, and it will compile, as soon as we have as soon as we have like a private def users which wants a request, which I believe is a request of f or some stuff like this, and it returns an f of, I don't remember what it needs to return, f of unit or something like this, like that. Okay, so I'm gonna just steal the types, which is like these guys. Right, so I'm just gonna yank it until the very end and go like this. And we're gonna import this, and we're gonna import that. And we don't have the router. We don't have the HTTP for SDSL. What else? Okay. Routes off, blah, blah, blah. It's probably not the f of unit that needs to be returned. Not found request, import request. Type match, found f of unit, required f of response. Okay, so this needs to be not unit, this needs to be like a response. And I believe it's also response of f, I'm not sure. Let's import it. All right, type is match. Blah, 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 found required classly. Found routes of blah, required routes of f. What did I do wrong? Blah, 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 blah. This thing returns what? F of response of f. Oh, okay. So, oh no, this is what this is what we are returning, f of response of f. So what is your problem? What is a request? It's a request of f. It's an f of response of f. It's exactly what we're returning. Oh, we're returning it in the decode R. Well, okay, so what does this thing return? F of response of f. What are we doing wrong? Do we have the post thing? Probably don't have like the post stuff, right? No? Okay, let's just go and steal the imports. Probably this thing, for sure. For sure it's some stuff like this. No? Maybe cat syntax all. Like it complains about the types, right? So what I'm doing right now is sort of like silly. Right, so this is what he's doing, right? So he goes like router off, and he gives this tuple to the router. Right, router off, and we have this tuple, right? String and HTTP routes off, blah, 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 okay? So I don't see what the problem is. I'm just gonna steal the imports. Like, this is like one of those annoying things. Maybe it's like because of the Cersei entity encoder. Oh man, I really want to try it. Hold up, let me try this. No. Okay, stealing all of them. So, like these guys. Probably have all of them anyway. No. This is so hard to read. Like, okay, so it's a classly of option T request, which expand, no, hold on. Oh, we went to the list. So what, it went to the list and we give it one route? Am I not seeing something? HTTP routes is HTTP routes off. Like, am I blind? Like, what am I not seeing? Like, this is just a function call, right? It just calls this thing and it gives it an f of response of f. I don't get it. That's what I meant. I'm super tired. Okay, so let's for now remove the router. Okay, so let's like grab this thing. Well, let's just grab this whole thing and just do like this, and like do that, and let's just like kick the router. You know, just minimize the problem like that. Okay. So it really doesn't like the fact that I'm just like calling users, giving it a request, and it gives me the freaking F of a response. Like this thing wants what? It wants a partial function of a request to response. Do we have a default case in this pattern match? We do not. This is silly. Okay, so now it says, okay, found routes of app, but I wanted a list of app, but I don't see where it wants a list. Oh, there we go, bots. Oh, come on. Hide user on this channel. All right. So where does it say that it wants a list? Like I don't see anywhere where we go, oh, list. Like this is the old code, okay? We don't have the router, so we just go here. It has to be something so silly. It's a partial function of a request to f of response. Let's try it here. So let's grab this thing and like put it here. Here, like this, and let's go here, even like this, right? Let's go like this, paste it here. Totally compiles, right? So this is exactly the same code. And so now over here, we're just gonna call it users was request. And for some reason, it's happy here, but it's not happy for me. Am I not just doing that? I am just doing that. Like, what is the... Why does it say that it's a list? Oh, Jesus, I found it. I found it. Is this bot still here? Like, what the hell? I deleted the channel. No, okay, all good. All right, so, this is a mistake over here. Yeah. All right. So this is a mistake because it never should have like returned this thing to begin with. Okay, so we can remove everything here, return to how it was. Okay, progress. So this means that, you know, we can return this thing and remove this thing. Yo, AK, what up? Go to this thing, do like this. Okay. So, progress. So now all we need to do is we need to go and implement this thing. I'm not even sure if we should go and do this decoded R thing. If we should decode it over here. I don't remember how I did it in the to-do app. I'm actually gonna go and check. So if we go to dev inside you and I don't know, tagless file, and we go over here. Well, we can pretty much like find the controller, right? And it's the one in HTTP4S. Not this one. I need the one in CRUD. This one. How did I do it here? Yeah, so I parsed it here. Yeah, so let's do the same thing. Let's do the same thing so that it's a little bit more consistent. Okay, so I want to go like request dot, decode R, and then I want to say that it's going to be like create user, which we don't have yet, and then I'm just going to like flat map it into users, and the users is going to have the create user now instead of this thing. Okay, so this is now create user, create user. Okay, so now we just need like create user, and we need to type correctly request. Okay, so decode R is not a member of blah blah blah. That's probably because we don't have the type. Okay, so create user, right, is over here. Let's go like steal it, and for now let's actually put it here in the controller. Okay, so we don't have like this derived stuff, so just kind of like steal all of this stuff like that and just like throw it in. Missing parameter, not found type, username param, password param. Okay, so same deal. Yeah, username param and password param. Okay, so they're like here. Okay, so ta-da! And by the way, let's make them final as well. Final. Let's not have this thing yet. Exception could not find for username param username of product create user. Why not? Magnolia could not find decoder type class. Why? What is so? Cannot invoke symbol is class because TTS is null. Did I? Okay, so the issue is that I accidentally put it into this anonymous class, I think. Yeah, it needs to be lower. So basically like this. Oh no, I didn't. It's in the object, right? The class ends here. So why can it not derive stuff? Oh, not found type, not empty string. There we go. Okay. So we need that. Also, let's go here and just do all like that. Okay. No, not like that. Not like that. Like that. Okay. Not found type, new type. Well, it's this one. All right. Could not find a decoder for non-empty string. Okay, so we need some like Cersei refined. I don't remember if it's refined Cersei or if it's Cersei refined, but something was refined. Okay. Oh, okay. So it looks like we have like our own extension stuff. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, I remember this thing. We got distracted today like a little bit too much, so I'm just gonna grab this one. And yeah, we're just gonna like steal it without really understanding it. But basically we're making sure that we can have it as a query param, which we don't have yet, but maybe we will. And we're making sure that we actually have like this decode R thing. And the only, by the way, like the only reason like this decode, like if you have, I close it of course, but like over here, like these controllers, you know, like the way we did it, like in the to-do app, like I don't really care. I just went like, hey, let's go with sync. And then, you know, I can just go like the regular, you know, encode decode stuff from Cersei. But there is a way to not rely on sync by going like this, right? Because it goes like as JSON decode, which only requires that you have like a JSON decoder and the decoder, and so you don't need like sync or anything like this, because there's no like technically there's no like syncing happening in the delivery layer, right? It's HTTP, like it's just a route, it's just a function, something comes in, something comes out. There are no side effects there. If you could go back 10 years ago, would you choose Java, Scala, and backend in general, or would you choose something like C++ and later something like Rust for system level deving? No, I would pretty much do the same choice, make the same choice as I did. So I would stick with Scala. I really, really like it. People are really happy with Rust, and I'll check it out one day as well. However, I just never enjoyed like low-level programming. And when I say low-level, I mean like I never really needed like bare metal stuff. I never liked, you know, C++. I was always curious about like the, you know, like the world of like I was always curious how to build like gigantic applications. I never really cared about, you know, being close to hardware. I never cared about like managing memory. I never cared about like performance. I don't know, just not my cup of tea. It's not like there's something wrong with it, right? It's just, yeah. All right, so we were just like stealing this thing, like hardcore stealing it, and because we're using things like Cersei, we cannot like go, you know, go into the core and put it there. But it looks like, you know, this is like HTTP for us stuff. Okay, so I would just put it like under dev inside you. Again, like it would be so awesome if we could have like top level definitions as we do in Scala 3. So I cannot like go and create like a package like dev inside you or something like this, right? So I'm just going to create, I'm just going to call it refine, like the same as he did. But I'm just going to create it over here. Okay, so I'm going to go and create a, I really like hate the fact that I need to import it, but there's no way around it. Like if you have like orphaned implicits floating around, you cannot have them at the top level. So we're going to go like new file, and we're gonna call it like I really don't like calling things like small, but I kind of see what he's doing. It's like top level stuff. Okay, yeah, let's follow that. Refine.scala. Okay, and we're just gonna like shamelessly like go and grab it like this. Okay, it's going to compile because we have like all of the dependencies. Okay, and so now if we, okay, well now because it's like a top level thing, it's going to be a little bit hard to import it like this. And like this is where you like run into like tiny issues with this design system that I developed, because it was, you know, it was developed with the with Scala 3 in mind. Right, because like if I just go like import refined, you know, like this, right, it's probably gonna still like not like me. We kind of got lucky that it does like me, but still. Okay, so let's just go dev inside you like this, just in case. Okay, so what do we have here? Missing argument list. That is not what's up. Let's close all the others. Oh, okay, it was like this. Oh, okay, so we don't even need to do the flat map. Okay, well, like this. Yeah, we don't need this thing anymore. It's like that. Okay, there we go. So we got it to compile. So we can decode this thing now, and yeah, maybe actually like this is better. And so now we just need to like implement this function, and for this we're going to need our boundary, right? So this is like the point where we're gonna go, okay, well, we need the boundary. And everything is going to compile just like this without imports or anything, right? And like the only thing that we have on the boundary is like new user, login, logout. Okay. So, how does this thing still doesn't compile? Could not find implicit value for parameter representation of decoder of non-empty string. I thought we had like all of the imports. Did I forget some? We even have that. We have all of these, right? Let's have them again. Okay, now I don't trust metals anymore. Yeah, everything compiles. So let's just recompile the whole workspace. Actually, there is a workaround for these things, you know, when metals doesn't clear diagnostics, like right now. Because again, like it compiles, right? Like clean, well, let's not compile everything. Well, we can already start benefiting from the fact that we have, yeah, deliver HTTP4S. Let's just try to compile that. Okay, in order to compile that, we need to compile the core, obviously. And like, this is like something that bothers me already. Like we barely started and it took like forever to compile the core. Okay. Okay, so it's not a metals issue. So why can we not find a decoder for what? Is it because it's final? No. Okay. Like he didn't have, like how does it work here and it doesn't work for us? I mean, it's not, oh, I copy pasted from the wrong place, obviously. Okay, so we need to go here and we need to copy paste like all of these ones. Yeah, it's probably like these ones, like sorcery find and stuff. You know, like these ones. Yeah, so they disappeared now. All right, so let's clean this up a little bit. Like that, and like that. Hold up. This one and this one, like that. Go like this. Let's go like that. Yeah. And this is like one of those things where it's like, wow, that's like a lot of imports. All right. So all we need to do is we need to go like boundary dot new user, flatmap created, recover with, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we should be able to do all of this. Even that probably. Value to lowercase is not a member of refined. Okay, so it was probably because I removed like too much. All right, so we're here and it was here and there's probably some. There's probably some like macro stuff. And this one probably for sure. This one, right? Yeah, it's this one. Oh man. Macros and implicits and all the fun. It's not very beginner friendly. Yeah, I believe we're actually done. So we can now just like go grab this thing. And we can go paste it over here. Okay, and it's just pretty much gonna compile. It's just that our auth is now called boundary. And this is called create user. Create user. Same thing over here and same thing over here. Value flat map is not a member of, what do I mean? It's right. Oh, get syntax all. Another import. Like this is one of those things where, you know, which like Zio is trying to solve, that you don't have like all of that stuff. Cannot convert a JWT token to an entity because no entity encoder exists for JWT token. Oh yeah, so this is a super important thing because remember, like JWT token is now something that is inside of over here. It's like our thing. And remember, this was the one where I was like, we should probably parameterize it so that we don't have to deal with it. And I'm still deciding. So all we need to do is we need to convert the token. So new user like gives us, you know, this JWT token, which is ours. Like all we need to do is we need to map and like convert it into that other JWT token, and then it's gonna compile. Why does create user doesn't have show? Like this is another thing. Like it doesn't have like show here. Oh, it's not create user. It's like, hold up. It's like this user. Okay. So like this is the only thing that we need to do, right? So we need to like map like from domain now to this library that he was using, right? Which was right, like basically to this thing, which is like in dev profunctor auth. Okay. So this is going to be the token. Oh man. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, token. Like this is one of those Vim things, you know, I have JK to escape this mode. Okay. So token comes in, and now this, what was it again? I forgot again. Dev profunctor auth. Okay, so dev dot profunct. Oh shit, we might run into issues because it's also dev. Oh no, maybe not. Auth JWT token was like, you know, token dot value, I believe, like this. Functor was a K, I believe it was, right? Again, I couldn't have the K. Dev profunctor auth JWT. Hold up, like I saw a question. Just give me a second. Okay. Cannot convert to an entity because no entity encoder instance could be found. Okay, that's interesting. We'll check it out later. Okay, let me see a question. May I ask what resources do you use when you're short in time and you want to learn a challenging concept? I used to just use Stack Overflow, but then use Reddit, and if I recall correctly, and they have been so helpful. Like, I don't want to sound arrogant, but like, I don't remember the last time where I was learning something and I had to ask a question. And it's not because like I'm so smart or whatever. It's just that usually I go to places where I ask questions only when I like feel like there's a bug or something. Maybe it's because I was lucky and I never needed to like learn something that had like such a terrible documentation. Maybe it's because, you know, we always have like types in Scala, so you can always kind of like jump in and see like what the hell is this thing? Oh, it's just a string, you know. The Scala community is specifically very well represented on Discord. We recently, you know, the entire community recently moved to Discord. A bunch of people don't like it. One of the issues with Discord is that you don't have like permalinks that are that the search engines like Google index, and so when you search for something, you're never going to get like a direct link to some conversation in Discord. You can create those links manually, but they're not indexed by search engines. And so this is one of the things that people are complaining about. Like if you go to my server, you know, which is like discord.devinsider.com, I have a subdomain. Then, you know, when you go to like the welcome channel, you're gonna have a bunch of links to other Scala servers, right? There's basically like the sort of like proper Scala server, then the type level community, the Zio people, Scala meta people, which is like the tooling people like Metals and stuff, And you also have Learning Scala, which is a community built by Leo. Leo Bankel, he's a conference speaker and whatever. Stack Overflow, yeah, sure, why not? I've seen a bunch of people asking questions on Reddit, and a bunch of people answer questions on Reddit as well. So all of them work fine. Like in the past when I had like more time, but you're asking specifically about short time, but like when I had more time, I would read books. I really like to like know everything about a topic, you know? But on the other hand, you need to kind of like get used to the fact that even like me, for example, was like 10 years of experience and whatever, you're still gonna get like stuck every day, you know, on things like you saw just now, right? And so you need to just develop this mentality that it's like, first of all, it's okay, you know, and you know, turn off the whole imposter syndrome. It's not because you're stupid or whatever. It's like that's like part of the job, you know, part of the job description. So you're always gonna get stuck, and like when you do get stuck, just like keep digging, like don't stop digging, you know, like if you're short on time, like time box it, like after half an hour, ask a colleague, ask somebody somewhere. So yeah. About your other question, do you think that programming requires higher than average level of intelligence? You know, I noticed that I'm kind of like a naive person, sort of naive by choice. Like I really like to be naive. Like it kind of gives me like this optimistic view on the world. And for a very long time, I did not think that you would require like a higher than average level of intelligence. And by the way, it's hard to quantify. Like, let's not say higher than average. Let's just say like not everybody can do it, you know? So like I used to think that everybody can do it. But I have been mentoring people since university, and I had it like on 2 occasions where like no matter what I tried, and the person like really, really wanted to learn, like no matter what I did, they just wouldn't get it. And obviously, like pedagogically speaking, like these days I'm much better than back then. So maybe it was my fault. But like it stuck in my head. So yeah, so maybe it's not for everyone. Like it's for sure not for everyone because of like many other reasons. Like most people don't like to like sit alone in a room in front of a computer all day, right? So this is another reason, right? But this doesn't have anything to do with intelligence. But like in terms of intelligence, I do think that you need something. Like for example, me, I'm really bad at like puzzles. I hate puzzles. Like it's not my comfort zone. I hate puzzles. I hate like these algorithms. I never practice them. I always fail them in interviews. Like I always tell people, like I mentioned this so many times here on the stream. Like whenever like an interviewer says like, hey, let's do some algorithms, I'm like, no, let's not. Like I'm just gonna fail. Like, you know, let's not even go there, you know? But somehow I'm still fine as a programmer. So it's not like you need to be like super smart and like puzzles, like things like this. It's not that you need to be somehow special, but there's like a big gap between like low level of intelligence and special, right? And there is an average somewhere, and I don't know if you need to be above average. Like obviously I'm taking your question like too literally, but yeah, you do need you like you cannot like take like I'm like no against like nothing against like I don't know farmers or whatever, but you're not like or truck drivers, but you cannot just like take them and all of a sudden they're gonna be like, you know, a programmer. Thanks, man. That's what I thought. I know we usually hear go follow your dreams, but I think you have to know your limitations too. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, like this is and then like how is this called? You know, what is the opposite of like physical labor? Is it like an intelligence labor, or is it like a brain labor? How's it called? So it is one of those activities. So you need to be, you know, you cannot start from zero, you know. I even tried to like teaching kids. Like I have a niece, she's 10, and like she's still a kid, right? So you cannot like demand intelligence, but it's not like that she didn't understand it. It's like I couldn't even get her attention, you know. And we're not going to talk about ADHD and all of that stuff, but like assuming you have like a normal person, like even not everyone's attention is like the same. Obviously she's a kid, right? But you get the idea, right? Like if you can't concentrate on things, not because you have a disease or some pathology, just like of your personality. You're somebody who likes to be outside, you like things that stimulate you and stuff. If you're somebody like that, like how are you gonna like stare at a piece of code all day, Anyway, it got me derailed there. Oh man, it's so late and I want to stream for like 2 hours. Let's go back to the boring stuff. Yeah, so we cannot convert a JWT token to an entity for some reason. Because we don't have an entity encoder for the JWT token. This sounds like an import issue. That thing that looks exactly like what we need. Who would have thought that reading will help you? Come on, it is that thing for sure. Cersei, no, hold on, it's a Cersei entity encoder. Let's just grab everything again. Do we have this one? Do we have this one? Yeah, we do. Okay, hold up. Cannot convert JWT token to an entity because no entity encoder instance could be found. One. Like, which of these imports prevents us from doing that thing? We have this one, we have this one, we have that one. Like, we need something with an underscore, we need one of those. Oh, I have a hunch, yeah. No, I don't have a hunch. Hold up, over here we had, let me just grab these real quick, just like throw them in there. Look at this route, like it's super tiny and we cannot get it to compile. I have a hunch because of, okay, first of all, let's go like this. Okay, so let's try this Magnolia thing. I feel like there's some collision going on. It didn't solve it. I am guessing that he defined an encoder for the S. There we go. Yeah, orphan instances. Yeah, so he defined it himself. But here's the thing. If he defined it himself, then we might as well define it for our thing. Let's go grab it. Paste it like here, right? Okay, so this is the IO source encoder. And now we're just going to remove this one. Yeah, and now it compiles. And so we ended up not needing the JWT token from the library, right? So we don't even need to map this thing, right? And so, like, so far, like when we have only one route, okay? So we're not dealing with the tokens yet. But still, it's already kind of cool that we did not need that token. All right, so delete that thing. Go here, go like this, okay? So we have a route. It's one method call. It's super tiny over here. And everything that we needed like was here. Okay. So we did not like, do I have the routes? The router? Yeah, we do. Okay. So we were kind of like lucky. My Vim cannot go lower. Really? Oh my God. Really? Seriously? Software these days. Write your tests, people. I really cannot go further down. This. Okay, now I can. All right. Wow. All right. So we finally have this controller. It took forever, but we finally did it. So we have like 40 minutes left. I really want to create a couple more boxes. Let's see how many of you guys are here. Okay. So I'm gonna be right back. Don't go anywhere. Ask questions. I'll be right back. And I'm back. What did I miss? Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, so if you're a newbie, you might want to check out the what's it called? Scala, your first programming language playlist. All right. So we still have like 35 minutes left. So so let's go here, and I want to. So before we commit this, I actually want to go and fix this database thing, and we don't need to fix it. We just need to well, we kind of need to fix it because it just commented out. But like what happened is that if we go to like the authentication gate, it now has the storage, right, which looks exactly like the one that is currently commented out, right? Here, right, like this one. And all we need to do, I believe, is we just need to go and say that it's now in package auth. and it should be fine. Method find overrides nothing. How dare you? So let's see, storage. Oh yeah, so we renamed them. So now it's find user and create user. Okay, find user, and the same thing over here. Find user and create user. Okay, ta-da, we fixed it. Yeah, so like, see how we already have this gate is a facade for like these 5 boxes, and we just already implemented, you know, one of those boxes. Okay, and once we have all of the boxes implemented, like at the very bottom when we're assembling the entire application, we're just going to call this method, right? And so we're going to pass in the storage, the one that we just saw, this one, right? So we're gonna make it somehow by giving it the session, and then it's gonna work out. Okay, so we need to create the others. Let's see. Okay, this thing compiles now, right? I believe I accidentally cleaned, right? So let's also compile the whole thing, just in case. Oh well, yeah, so that's gonna take like a minute. Okay. So let's just go, so this is gonna be like day 4, right? So we're just gonna go like day 4. Okay, yeah, so gcam is just this and this. Okay, so it's basically just like commit everything. If you want to measure how good is someone at programming, what questions you ask, what answers are you looking for? I'm not sure if this is the right question to ask. Like, no offense. It's more about like why do you even want to measure that? Like, I assume you're talking about like hiring somebody, right? Like, I think it's more important to figure out like how good are they at learning programming, or just in general, like how good are they at approaching a problem? Like back in the day, like when we would, I just said back in the day, like I'm 60 years old. I'm 35. Like at my first job, like I was part of like the interviewing process, and we would just give people just a function to implement, which was is substring, right? So just a function takes like first string, second string, just to implement that. And we said, like, you know, do whatever language you want. We gave them a laptop, but we specifically said that, you know, we don't care if it compiles or not. Okay, and like I'm talking to you right now, right? And I'm saying is substring, and you're thinking, well, yeah, it's gonna take me like 5 minutes to implement. I freaking dare you, go try it, and you'll see that it's gonna take you like at least 20 minutes. Yeah, so let me finish the story real quick. So yeah, so this was already enough, like to see like how people react, you know, because it's like some people were like senior and decided like being arrogant and whatever, and then they couldn't freaking do it for like half an hour, you know. Other people were like juniors that didn't solve the problem, but, you know, we just saw that they were like on the right track, and it was good enough for us. Like we hired a girl once that stayed with the company. She still was the company for like 6 years or something, right? And like from her perspective, she like failed that part of the interview, you know, because she didn't solve it. And I was like I didn't ask you to like solve it, you know. I just wanted to see like how you would solve it. And again, it was a good hire because she's still there. It's been like over 6 years, and she's, you know, one of my best friends. Okay. Right. So you would like to be able to know like what characteristics, habits makes you a better programmer. Yeah, and this is like one of those things that like every like tech programming like YouTuber like makes a video about like 10 things you need to know to make you a better programmer. And like I'll be honest, like one day I'm gonna start making them as well because it just gets views, you know. But for now, I have like so much curiosity about things that I'm just gonna make videos about those. So characteristics and habits. It's actually not as hard as you would think, and like most of them don't even have anything to do with programming. It's mostly a mental mental attitude, right? It's like basically understand, like I'm gonna reiterate, right? You need to go in and you need to know that you are never gonna stop learning. It's not one of those things that, you know, you take a course and now you're a programmer and it's all good. Like you see, like to this day, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, why doesn't this compile, right? You're gonna remember all of this stuff. There's always like new libraries and whatever. Like you will never, ever, ever stop learning. And in fact, in our industry, you will learn more than in other industries. You know, like take some like a doctor, you know, like a heart surgeon, you know, there's constantly new developments, obviously, right? Like there's new technologies and whatever. However, like as a programmer, not only do we have the same, but we also need to learn the domain of the company that we're working for. So we have like twice as many things to learn. And also, like I don't know how it works in medicine, but like in programming, there's like literally a new library every day. So like this is one of those things. Like you will never stop learning, and you will always get stuck, right? It's just that like when you get like more senior, hey, famous people, it's going well, I guess. We kind of derailed into Q&A. We were doing programming and stuff. We kind of derailed into Q&A, but still, why are you even awake? Yeah, so back to the question. You're never gonna stop learning. You will always get stuck. Just like when you get more senior, you kind of know to recognize like when you're not supposed to get stuck, you know. And so, like as a senior, you'll be like, okay, I spent like an hour on this, and there's like clearly something that like a freaking semicolon is missing or something, and this is where you know, okay, I should ask somebody. You know, you cannot have this like, oh, I'm a senior, I'm supposed to be able to figure this out. Like nobody cares about your ego, right? So yeah, it's just like basically these two things. And like another thing is that like you need to know that this job implies that you're going to be sitting at your computer all the time, especially post-COVID with like remote stuff. Now you're going to be sitting alone at your computer all the time. You know, so if you're somebody who, you know, who wants to go out, like who wants to be outside, wants to be like in the weather, you know, you see like this digital nomad pictures of people like sitting at the beach. I've been a digital nomad for the last 3 years, and maybe I did it wrong, but I've never been sitting at the beach with a laptop. So yeah. About like habits, it's really not gonna hurt you if you like to read, because like I'm not like a big reader when it comes to like novels and stuff, but I have read a lot of like, you know, technology books. Like for some reason, like I never had an issue reading them. Like I could, you know, just give it to me, I'll read all of it. So if you like really hate reading, it's not gonna help. About like habits and stuff, I don't know, like typical things, you know, like if you know how to organize your time, for sure it's gonna help, you know. But there's no like habit or no characteristic or something that like you can see at a person's and then you can say, okay, you're gonna be a great programmer, right? You can kind of guess because like somebody's like, I don't know, curious or whatever. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so Jacob made a video about being a senior developer. Yeah, check it out. Yeah, good night, man. Go to bed. It's super late for you. I want to create at least like one more thing before I finish the stream, right? Where were we? So I want to see like this has config thing. It's like probably the smallest one. So let's go with this one. Okay, so we already saw that in the build we're using like this Cyrus library. Was not Cyrus, it was Sir something. Cyrus, that's what I typed, no? Sir Cyrus, like this. I think I typed it was a C. Okay. So like this is like all we need like to create like a config loading library. Okay. So let's go grab like this thing again. And by the way, I kind of want to have this like higher. So I want to have this like, so we have core, like then I want to have the inputs, right? I want to have it like this, and no, not now. And because we haven't changed anything yet, right? So I'm just gonna like, yeah, this is the only thing that we did. So I'm just gonna like shove it into the previous commit, okay? In case we want to create like a separate commit. Okay, so now, yeah, so let's go like grab this one, for example, and so this one is going to be called config, and we're going to read it from file, and we're going to use Cyrus for it, right? It's called Cyrus, right? I forgot again. Cyrus, yeah. So that's it, okay? Same thing over here. Yeah, so it's going to be like an output, so it's going to be something that the core needs. So we're going to go config file Cyrus, okay? And over here, again, like we can throw everything out over here, do this thing, go over here. And I'm pretty sure that we can just go like this. Like this is all we should need to do it. Okay. Config file Cyrus, great. Let's go and see what SPD thinks about me. Yeah, it's all good. So let's go import it. Like the directory is already there, right? Right. See, like our boxes are like starting to grow. Okay. I need to wait for this thing a little bit. And this takes forever. I really don't know what to do with this. I cannot stream every day for the next like months or something. I need to decide what to do with this whole project, because like I am curious whether we can make it happen, but maybe we'll finish it some other time. Like I'm still gonna stream tomorrow again for like 2 hours, but yeah. I know there's a lot to monads, but can you give a quick explanation about monads? Yeah, I have a couple of videos, and a couple of them are actually really short. I have a good video about paradigms. Let's go and grab it. Let's go here. So if you just go to my channel and go like paradigms or paradigm, yeah, so this one, 3 paradigms. Like in the end, like I quickly introduce monads. But like the basic idea of a monad is that, first of all, like everybody who understands monads, including me, loves to talk about monads. So you just freaking triggered me. The most important thing to understand about monads is why everybody talks about them. More specifically, not everybody talks about them. And it's because like in object orientation, you never need them. But somehow, like as soon as you do in functional programming, like everybody talks about them. And there's like this famous like line, you know, like a monad is just a monoid in the category of the functor. So like, what's the problem? And like the most important point about this sentence is like this last part, like what's the problem? Because now you know, okay, it comes from some other field. It's called category theory, but whatever. And in that field, it's nothing special, right? So for some reason, like in functional programming, it is special because everybody talks about it, right? And so you need to look like what is so special about functional programming that for category theory doesn't care about it. Object-oriented programmers don't care about it, even though they have like 10 years of experience and whatever. About the config thing, I don't remember, but I believe Cyrus only loads things from environment variables. It sort of like has this like philosophy that, you know, config files, like not config files, but like configuration should not be like in files. But it has like mappings to pure config. Yeah, but apart from that, it's like whatever. It's a config loading library. Yeah, so we're back to monads. And so like what makes functional programming like so special that they all of a sudden need monads? Like they cannot survive without monads. And it's the fact that, in fact, it's not that they can't survive without monads. It turns out that they can survive without one particular monad, and it's the input-output monad. And so what functional programming has that object-oriented programming doesn't have is the fact that they program with different kinds of functions. You know, when you learn functional programming, like everybody says, referential transparency, what comes in, something needs to come out, like no side effects, blah, blah, blah. But then eventually you sit down and you need to print something out, or you need to send an email, or you need to go to talk to the database. And so what you end up doing is you end up like wrapping those function calls into thunks. So instead of just like printing something out, you have a function that doesn't have any parameters, add to parameter list. And then like once you actually call it, you will print it out, but you never call it, right? And you do this to maintain this concept of referential transparency. And so like as long as you never call those functions, you stay in this like wonderland of purity, of referential transparency, of the substitution model for procedure application. And as long as you stay in this world, you can reason about your programs just fine in terms of the substitution model. You can refactor your code just fine. And you never, ever run those functions. It's just that in the very, very end, you have to run something. And so what you end up doing is you have like a bunch of these like functions that you never call, right? It's like no parameter comes in and then print line. No parameter comes in, call the database, So now you need to combine all of these compose all of these functions together somehow, so that your entire application, no matter how big, ends up being like one gigantic function. And then in your main method, which is dramatically called the end of the world, you just call this function, okay? And so now you have this functional program. So where do monads come in? Monads are just it's just a solution how to compose these special kinds of functions. So you will end up not with functions that go from A to B, you will end up with functions that go to A and then to B in the context of the IO monad, right? And so the IO monad will just help you to compose those functions, okay? And you have different kinds of monads because whenever you have like two normal functions, one goes from A to B, the other one goes from B to C, you can write a generic function that like takes them as parameters and composes them, and another function comes out from A to C. However, when you're dealing like with these functions where the result type is in some context, first of all, you need to have the same context, right? So now you have a function from A to B in some context, from B to C in some context, and you need to produce a function that goes from A to C in some context, okay? The context is always the same, right? But in order to compose that, you actually need to know which context you're talking about, because otherwise you would never be able to, let me actually write this out, right? So if you have a function from A, instead of just B, it's like wrapped into something, right? And then you have another function, and this is the problem. It doesn't start with f of B, right? It starts with B, right? And it goes to like f of C. Okay, and like your goal is to produce a function that now goes from A to f of C. Okay, and so somehow you need to like get this B out of this f so that you can stick into this next function, and you have no way to do this unless you know what this context is. But you don't need to know like the entire description of this context. You just need to know how to rip the B out, and this is what flatmap does, which is this function on the method, right? So as soon as you know that this is an option, you can call flatmap on the option. Why can you do this? Because the flatmap knows that it's an option, and so it knows that it's either a sum or a none. And so if it's a sum, inside of the sum is going to be your B, right? If you know that your f is a list, then you can write a monad for the list, because you're going to have like a for each in your list. And this is how you're going to get like every B from that list, right? And so you need a different monad for a different context. Okay, enough of monads. I have this video, check it out, and I have an entire playlist about monads and all that stuff. Also, like if you go to my website, which is just devinside.com, right? Then if you click on courses, you're gonna see like there's an entire course about monads. If you click over here, this is just a YouTube playlist. It's all free. All right. So I have 7 people who want to learn about monads. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Yeah, man, I would love to do more live streams. I just don't have the time. And you know, like in terms of like if you guys are like want to become content creators or whatever, live streams don't really grow your audience. You know, it's like very few people like discover or like stumble on the stream. So it's more like to hang out with an already existing audience. Also, nobody like this VOD, you know, this video on demand is going to be like 2 hours long. And by the way, if you want to like watch it later, if you go to live.devinside.com, all of the previous live streams and this current one will always be here. Also, if you just go to my channel, at the very, very bottom, same thing, very, very bottom, same thing, right? But nobody's going to watch them, right? And so I'm forced to concentrate more on the actual recorded videos and make them as short as possible so that more people will watch them. Like, see, like this video is like 4 years ago, but people are still going to watch them, you know? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like one day, like hopefully I can do this like full time in a couple of years, and then I really want to live stream. Like I like live streaming. You know, I like streaming. To me, like streaming or watching somebody else's stream is like as entertaining. You know, like it's as entertaining as watching somebody else's stream. Anyhow, this thing compiled and Metals finished its thing. So we need to go and remember our namespace, which is this one. And we need to go to our gate and remember how we called it. We called it hasconfig, okay? So go over here, new file, source main Scala dev inside you. We have the Shopee application and we're in the users and we are in the auth. And we want to have a hasconfig implementation .scala, like this. Okay, so find the dot, apply my macro a couple of times, go over here, object has config implementation, and over here we're going to have def make for some f, which is parameterized. And we're going to produce a has config for some f. It's going to be a new has config for some f like this, and we're going to import it like this. Okay, and it's going to be like a lazy val. Okay, and now we're going to need we're going to use Cyrus somehow to implement this. Okay, I think if you collab with others, you might grow very quickly. I can see the potential. Yeah, for sure. We talked about this many times. I talked about it with Daniel from what's his channel called, Rock JVM, and you know, Jacob was just here. You know, we talked about collabing, but we were just like, we were all just so busy that we didn't have time. We just couldn't make it happen. But eventually we will. You know, because like on YouTube, like this is not a competition. Like I would love to have more Scala content creators on YouTube, because like the way YouTube works is that, like, you know, if you watch like, I don't know, my video, then it's going to suggest you like, hey, there's also like Rock to JVM, like go watch his video, you know? So the more the better. It's not a competition. Yeah. Also, like, I believe like right now I'm the only one who, I don't think that Jacob streamed or Daniel streamed. Yeah, I believe I'm the only one like Scala streamer probably in the entire world, you know? And if not, then I'm like the only one who's on YouTube, you know, like a bunch of people still stream on YouTube, on Twitch. All right, let's go see how we can load this config. I talk a lot, too much. we probably need to go. I've never used Cyrus before. There's a main. And there we go, config load. Okay, so first of all, config is what? Okay, so this is our thing. Yeah, so this is what I meant, right? So it just goes like this. Just you get the environment, and then you have as app environment. Interesting. Oh, okay, so it can do enums. That's cool. Okay, so this is app config. Whoa, really? It loads the whole thing? Okay, if it's, oh, okay, interesting. Default. Okay. Okay, so you basically just get the environment variables out. And then you do like this as thingy. Ooh, it has a config decoder. Okay. Okay, so this is something that, okay, so this is a Derivo extension for Cyrus. Cyrus or Series? I have no idea, by the way. I wonder why it doesn't have a built-in module for this. Maybe these days it does. I don't want to look it up. I don't care. We're just going to go with the same thing. Okay. So first of all, it's an object. So it's not some implicit or something. Oh, that's interesting. That is cool. I like it. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing, right? We're just gonna go and grab this, right? And it's gonna be like config decoder. And notice that like it's in the package Cyrus, you know, and stuff. We don't need any of that, right? Because our entire project is called Cyrus. So everything here is for Cyrus. So we're just gonna go over here like into dev inside you, and we're just gonna paste it over there. Okay. And okay, so we also have some extensions for there. Oh, hold on. Derive. Oh yeah, we already stole this, right? So see, like it's already ours, so we already have it. So like as soon as we go over here and do like dev inside you, right, and just remove that, then we should be fine. And it imports Cyrus config decoder, Cyrus config decoder. Why can't we do that? Oh yeah, so this is another thing, right? So see, he required to do this root thing because like his package was also called like this, you know. We don't. Where's our thing? Yeah, so we don't. So we can just go like this, like that. Or at this point, you know, we might as well just do this. Okay. So now that we have that, we should be able to go. I wanted to implement the. No, I'm gonna do that later. I actually want to go back and see again like how it was loaded. Yeah, so basically, okay, why is everything secret? Everything is secret, blah blah blah. Oh, so you pretty much do it yourself. Oh, well, that's annoying. Okay. Okay, so what did we want? We wanted this like expiration thing. Token expiration, like that thing. What? It's hard coded. For real? Wow. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, well, whatever. So for now, even though like we're in Cyrus, well, we're just gonna go like this. Oh no, what did I just do? No. Man. Okay, so all we need then is we don't even need Cyrus, right? So we just need an applicative, and we're gonna like go like import cats, import like cats, syntax all. Okay, and we're just gonna go like this. So it's just gonna be a config, puref, and we're done. Whoa, 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 what the hell? What just happened? How did it disappear? Pure F, like this. Okay, hold up. Okay, and that's like Scala concurrent duration, I guess. What's up, man? Mr. Python language. Yeah, so this was annoying, but I still think that this is the correct place to put it, because like I'm not gonna go create like yet another box without the dependencies on Cersei just to compile one line of code. Like we should have been like loading this from the database. Sorry, not from the database, from the actual environment variables. We're gonna do it some other time. Yeah. Well, damn. It's almost 2 hours, and I really wanted to implement like some like some beta box. Everything still compiles. Maybe it was tests, right? So we're just gonna like shove it in. Let's go have a look at our gate. How about this crypto thing? Let's go do this crypto thing, right? This crypto thing should be easy. We should be able to do this crypto thing in 5 minutes. Okay, so how did it work here? Was it not here? I was at the bottom. So yeah, so he was doing like crypto.encrypt, and the implementation was a bunch of that stuff. So we just need like JavaX crypto, right? And what else? Oh, how annoying! This is not a tagless algebra because it doesn't have an F, but you still needed a sing because there's something mutable probably. Why would what else? Yeah, so because it creates it's because of this thing. Because of this thing, because the creation of a mutable state also needs to be, it needs to be delayed. Right? Because otherwise, like if you just go like pure in this thing, if you just return a crypto, and in order to construct the crypto, you need to do like new secure random. You're technically breaking referential transparency. All right. But it seems like it's one file, right? So we should be able to just like create a box, shove in like this crypto thing. We're not gonna need that. Actually, this one is like in config types, and it has a decoder. Like this is another thing that I don't like. No, we're not gonna use that one. Right, where do we use like password salt? Oh yeah, it's the parameter. Yeah. So the password salt comes from config. This is interesting, right? Which means like somewhere we do like as password. Hold up. Like this. Yeah, as password salt. Okay, so we're reading it from the config. This is interesting. This is actually one of super interesting things. I don't think I have a solution for this yet, but we'll see. For now, let's not worry about this. For now, let's just go and create it. Okay, so we're just gonna go like this, and it's going to be, I don't know, cryptography. Is it spelled like this with a PH? Cryptography. Yeah, it is. Okay. So this is cryptography, and for this we're going to use a library called crypto. And that's it. And again, this is something that the core needs. So it's going to be like cryptography. There's for sure a typo somewhere. Cryptography. No, it's not. Okay. So we're not going to need Cyrus. And I'm going to go grab. Okay, so we need cat's effect. We should only need like cat's effect and like that crypto thing, JavaX crypto. Oh, it's actually called JavaX crypto. Let's go see how it's called. Oh wow. So it's called JSR 105 API. What a beautiful name. Someone clearly understood marketing. I'm actually gonna go grab this name because like I prefer to, I don't want to have like another mapping, you know, for projects, right? So if it's called like this, then it's gonna be called like this. I replaced too much. I wanted to replace like only this one. No, damn it. Oh, I lost it. This one. Okay, so we're gonna yank that. And we're gonna go like until the end and paste it. And because I'm such a Vim noob, I'm gonna do that. Okay. So it's gonna be like this. We just need cat's effect and JavaX script. That's all. Now let's see if, well, that was an accident. I did not want to do that. So let's see if SBT likes us. And it does. So now let's go and import this. Okay, so as you can see, like the number of our boxes like keeps growing. Okay. It worries me a little bit. There's like a bunch of types used here that we might not have. All right. So for now, like as always, like let's open, for example, config, because the packages are always going to be the same. And we're going to go to cryptography over here. And we're going to go, as always, source main Scala dev inside you. And we're going to go like Shopee. And we're going to go, what was it? User auth, right? And this is going to be like crypto implementation.scala. All right. Okay. It's going to be like crypto implementation. Etc. We're going to have like def make, and this one is not a this one is not a tagless algebra. So we can just go like this, new crypto. And metals is going to, oh, did I not call it crypto? How did I call it? I did call it crypto. Dev inside your Shopee users os. Dev inside your Shopee users. see, rename users. All right. Okay. Like this is an interesting thing. Like Metals doesn't understand that these things are actually in scope because of the way we do this. All right. So that's all we need to do. We need to implement encrypt. Okay, somehow. The implementation is here. So we're just gonna like grab this whole thing. Hey man, where are you guys at? Like I'm in Brazil and it's like almost 10 p.m. Wherever you are, it must be super late. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, what do those letters mean? Like, so this weekend, the second video of the diamond architecture comes out, where I explain that I just like to like have like things here sorted, and so there are like 3 letters that I'm using, like C for common, I for input, and O for output. So everything that goes into the core, for example, HTTP request comes in, or some scheduler ticks, or Kafka message comes in. All of they come in, and what you do is you call your business logic. You call something in the core, and so like these things are called I for input, right? So in our case, we only have HTTP. O stands for output. And by the way, I'm not super attached to these names. I really had no idea how to call them. I just had like only 2 requirements. First one is that it's just like only 1 letter. And the second one is that they're sorted like common first, which is like utility libraries, then input, and then the output, because output is like the one where you can have like the most. So I wanted to have them at the bottom. Okay. So essentially this thing calls the core, and these things are being used by the core. So core calls them. So input, output, sort of like request response kind of thing. All right. So we pasted this whole thing. First, let's see, like, and by the way, we should do this probably from now on. I should just always like paste the imports and just comment like everything out, and let's see what compiles with now. Okay. So we're not gonna need this for sure. Oh, thanks, man. Okay, so we need like password salt, which is this one. So that's interesting that it has like this config decoder. We're not gonna have it yet. And honestly, I don't have a solution for this just yet. But for now, we're just gonna like put it here. This is a special case. Where were we? In types. Okay, so let's just go like steal all of these ones as well. Yeah. Like this, let's just see like what the hell we need. Okay. Okay, so no SARS. Okay, no. Is this enough? No config decoder. Yeah. So we don't need that yet. All right. Yeah, so now we don't need this one. Okay, so now we have password salt, and so all the imports work. And so we should be able to, and I've been streaming for too long. Okay, it's because you guys got me derailed many times. How many of you are still here? 5, all right. I already mentioned this a couple of times. Please don't forget to hit the like button, and maybe YouTube is gonna recommend this to more people. Yeah, so it looks like, oh yeah, okay, so we need to go like this. Okay, so we actually need to go like this. Oops, like that. Okay, and so now we're gonna need to like get the sync of F, right? We're gonna need to delay this. Okay, what, too many? Not enough? Like this. All right. So this is now delayed. Oh, this is in the, oh, wow. Oh, that's cute. So he creates them first in this like delayed sync. And then he does a map. Okay, so let's clean this up. So I don't know how to call it. So for now, we're just gonna go with private dev thingy. And this is, sorry guys. And so this is going to be an f of what? It's a tuple. I need to drink all up. Mic's on. All right, so it's just a tuple of EC and DC, and EC and DC are not ACDC. So okay, so it's encrypted cipher and decrypted cipher. Okay, so it's encrypted cipher and decrypted cipher. Man, rewriting somebody else's code is so much easier than actually writing it. Okay. Okay, so now we're too far, so we cannot have this like private dev thingy. And that's also why he did it like this. Well, since it's just sync, you know, we're gonna go like this. Actually, we're not even gonna do this whole F thing. We're just gonna go like this. Like this is gonna be our thingy. Okay, and for sure it needs this thing. I'm sure. Like this. Okay. What? Oh, like that. Okay. Not found encrypted cipher and decrypted cipher. Is this a typo? Like, what is this? Okay. So how? Oh, really? He created them? Oh, interesting. All right. So again, where are we? I got lost. We are in crypt implementation over here. Okay, so it's our thingies. Okay, so oh, and also they spelled was an I. All right. Oh, it's not encrypted. It's okay. I'm copy pasting. Okay. Same thing over here. Bandy. Okay, there we go. Let's also make these ones final. And this entire project takes way too long. Okay, so if we just go like this, right, we should be able to just paste it in here. If we were in Scala 3, we're not in Scala 3, so I need parens. Okay. Oh, wow, first try. This is awesome. Okay. And now this means that I can just like delay the thingy. You know, thingy of password sold. Okay. And I can just map. And now we're gonna have like this pattern match that he has over there, which is what EC and DC, right? EC and DC. Okay. So this is like a prettier version of just like having this like huge block and the map and blah. Okay. So I think we only need encrypt. So for now, we're just gonna go with just encrypt. Right, just like this thing. Encrypt. And again, brace here, brace here. Okay. Not found value password. How is it possible? Okay, so it's just called value. He just called it value. Okay. No, but we also have it value. Where does password come from? Password. Oh, here he called it password. Okay. What do we like more? Value and password. It's not generic, so it's password. Password. Now let's go up and also change this to password as well. Okay, so we don't need DC. Like this is one of those things that some of you are not going to like. So notice how everything we're doing is just for this authentication, like users auth thing. Okay. And it seems like we did not need to decrypt anywhere. I'm actually curious how this happened. Right, we only do like, where's like even the encrypt? Yeah, here. So we have encrypt, but why do we not have decrypt? Like, where do we call decrypt? Only in the tests, so we never actually call decrypt. How is it possible? Maybe this is just a bad search. Oh yeah, we never need to decrypt the password. That's correct. Yeah, that's the thing, you know, like when you create a new user, you encrypt the password, you hash it with the salt. You never decrypt it. You just always compare, right? So when user logs in, you encrypt the password again with the same salt, and you compare this hash thing. So you never need to decrypt. In any case, I just don't want to like lose it. So we're gonna grab decrypt as well. And I'm just gonna put it like here for now. As a private def. And so we're just gonna go like DC. And you know, for now we're gonna put a Scala annotation, no warn. And it's going to be the category unused. First try. All right, so we'll throw this out. And again, look, somehow it happened that we did not need this Cyrus decrypt config thingy here. So we don't need a config library to just, you know, do some crypto stuff. And we don't need decrypt. So maybe like this thingy will become, you know, even less fast. Like, I don't even, like, first of all, I have no idea if we're going to finish this project because as you can see, it takes forever. Also, when we finish it, I don't know if we're going to do the tests as well because it's probably going to be so much time because like when I measured the time it takes to compile, it was with the test and it was 65 seconds. Let's actually go and do this now. So everything compiles, right? And by the way, we're kind of done for today, okay? So like we have the gate. Today I wanted to create like all of these, but we only have config, we have storage, we have crypto. So what's left is like tokens and Redis, and also like a place where we assemble everything together. Okay, so I see a question. Hold up, let me commit this real quick, and we're gonna push it. Well, I'm gonna push it now so that I don't forget it. Push. Okay, so we have like day 4, so we're done for today. So what I want to do is I want to go inside again, and I want to clean. Let me read your question in the meantime. What do you suggest for those who want to learn Scala coming from a Haskell background? Do you think that using libraries like cats right away is a good idea? Yeah, so I have a crash course. So where's that just for syntax? You're like a perfect target audience, you know, somebody who already knows how to program, especially Haskell. Where's the crash course? And you need to understand how type classes are encoded in Scala. And for this, you need like implicits. I have videos about all of that stuff. Like if you go to my channel, you just type in implicits, you will understand how they work. And you will see like a little bit of syntax, how we do this. I can also show it to you like super quick right now. So I want to like clean and update. Okay, and I want to see like how long it's gonna take to compile. Yeah, we cannot do it like this. Hold up. What we need to do is I need to go here and like copy it. Shopping cart to 2 or something like this. Okay, and we need to go into this one. Okay, and like check out master branch. So we need to do this thing here. Yeah, so basically you need to understand that Scala is not just a functional programming language. And so we don't have IO in the standard library. We have a couple of alternatives. You have Cat's Effect. You have Monix, which is currently a little bit out of date, but the maintainer recently wrote that he has more time, so he's going to keep maintaining it. So you have Cat's Effect, you have Monix, and you have Zio. And because we have like alternatives, and you know we had like various degrees of people like having time to maintain them, the community had a little bit of fear that like, what if we like commit to one of the IO libraries and then it's gonna stop being maintained? And we kind of like, we didn't really pioneer, but we sort of accidentally invested a lot into, why are we downloading so much stuff? Oh man, hold up, sorry. I just want to make sure that we're compiling like exactly the same commit as our master. Oh, we were in 2nd edition. Okay, so I want to go to this one. Yeah, this is the one that I want. Okay, so clean, update. Yeah, exactly. This looks much better. Okay, so don't need this one. All right, so this technique called tagless final. Not many people do this technique in Haskell. I believe it does exist, but most people just don't bother because you have IO, and so you just go to the concrete IO. And so tagless final, we kind of abused it. We only used it for it basically parameterizes over the effect type, right? So we can, like at the end of the world, we can say, okay, we want this IO library or we want that IO library. And we had, type classes to describe the similarities. Okay, so we have update, again, hold on, clean, update. All right, so compile and let's see how long it takes. Okay, and so right now the Scala community is divided sort of like in 4 camps. One camp is not really doing functional programming or like hardcore functional programming. The other camp is doing this tagless final technique, and then at the end of the day, they choose one of the effect types. The third category is Zio, which actually comes from Haskell, from Rio in Haskell, if you're familiar with it. So they just use like the concrete effect type. And the fourth camp is people who don't do any of those, right? I only know of one company that does that. They basically do like a better Java and whatever. So they don't use like any of these three stacks. So yeah, so you watch the crash course for the syntax. Probably like the most thing that you're going to be like most familiar with is probably going to be like the tagless final technique. And for this, like I have a playlist about it. It's called tagless final. You can check it out. And yeah, like if you watch that, like over there, I'm building like a basic to-do application with HTTP4S as an HTTP library, like a functional library. We're using Skunk, which is a native Postgres driver, also written in this ecosystem. So it's written with tagless file in mind, and also it has it uses FS2, which is a streaming library, also written with tagless file in mind. So this is a classic like type level stack: HTTP4S for HTTP, FS2 for streaming, and either Skunk or Doobie for database access. So this is your route. Crash course, understand implicits, like just on the syntactic level how it works, and then watch my tagless final playlist, for example. And about implicits, like you need like over here. See, like this is by the way the tagless final technique, right? We're saying that when we have, let me show you like the boundary. Okay. So this is like our algebra or DSL, and we say like inject like some effect type later. And when we're creating it, like this is syntactic sugar for, okay, there will be another parameter list with an implicit, and we usually give it like single letter names like monad throw, okay, monad throw, okay, and like the compiler will inject it for you because it's going to come from an import from one of the libraries. The same as with this, it's like literally the same thing, like it's exactly the same thing. It's just that over here there's an F. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing. So as long as this thing is in scope and like this import is in scope, you can do something like flat map, right? If you don't have like this thing in scope, then you basically need to say, okay, well, I need to like use this instance and call like flat map on it and give it like that thing, right? That thing, and then do it like that, right? Which part? The implicit? The dependency injection. Which part? Like everything here is dependency injection. Like you have a dependency injection like on like a type level. Yeah. The implicit thing is only because, you know, like these functional people that do like functional Scala, we do subscribe to this fact that, you know, you should only have one instance for your type classes. No, we use implicits just like as a type class encoding. Like you can use implicits for multiple things, but in this particular case, like a monad throw is a type class. So and a type class, like it looks exactly like this, right? So like somewhere is going to be like monad throw, right, with an F, right? And it has it has like a bunch of functions, right? It has like def, blah, and some parameter string, and then it produces an f of, I don't know, int somehow, right? See, like now it's confused. Okay, so this is a type class, right? We don't have like a native, like in the language, a native encoding of type classes. They don't exist. In Scala 3, we have more syntactic support for them, so they kind of feel like they're part of the language, but behind the scenes is this thing. Okay, and so the way we declare instances is in Scala 2 we cannot have top level definitions, so we're forced to put them like into objects, right? Objects blah or something like this, right? Okay, and so an instance of the type class is just like a val that is marked as implicit, right? So you're going to say like, okay, this is going to be my instance for monad throw, and my app is going to be like, I don't know, for now I'm going to do ID, and ID is going to be just oh well, we have cats. Okay, so it's like cats.id, you know, and then you go, well, okay, so it's going to be a new monad throw with, you know, cats ID, you know, and now, you know, you have to implement like this thingy. Okay. equals, and like, this is like cats.id, and so we can just return 1337. Okay, so this is now like an instance for monad throw, right? Okay, and so these instances, they come from libraries, right? And so whenever you import like blah, then like these instances, they're sort of like visible in this like implicit scope, and so the compiler will like just throw it in here. So you don't need to explicitly pass it around, because it just sees the types and it sees that there is an instance available, and it just throws it in. And so like these libraries like cats, they define all of these instances for you, and so you just like import, like with this thing. Like this thing brings a bunch of instances. It used to be called like, it actually does have like some like instances, I believe. Yeah, something like this. Like, see, it actually works. So you're like literally bringing all of these like instances, and in the past you would need like both of these, right? Right now you need only one of them. Yeah. So this is sort of like implicits and the tagless final technique, how we use it and stuff. And this is just a syntactic sugar, right? It's called a context bound. So you just go like this, because like if you notice, like we never use like this this like name here directly, right? If you wanted to, we could get it out, right? We could say, please summon it like from this implicit scope, like this thingy, like this. And this is just a function that just says, okay, like I'm gonna have like a parameter implicitly, and once I have it, I'm just gonna give it to you, right? It's sort of like identity, but the parameter is implicit. And so you can get it out like this, but we have like this syntax that we don't even need to get it out, so we never need this name, right? So we can just like go like this, right? Dot flat map, and you're back in the familiar thing. Yes, and I have been accidentally streaming for 2.5 hours, and it's like 10 o'clock, and my girlfriend's gonna kill me. So we committed this thing. It was like 57 seconds, right? So this is what we're fighting against. We committed this thing, GH RBW. So we have our commits. Why are we here? We're in the wrong branch. Diamonds. Okay, commits. Yeah, so this is day 4. Okay, so that's what we did today. Renamed a couple of things, did the scripter thing. Stole some refined thing. Man, this takes forever. I really don't think that we're gonna finish it. Maybe we will, but like not at this pace. Yeah. Let me see how many of you guys are still here. 3. Yeah. So any last words? I'm gonna be here for only a couple more minutes, like pretty much until the song ends. Where's the song? Over here. Yeah, GG, man. Ba-ba-da-ba-bum. there we go. Peace.